It's the 23rd of May, and this is your Frontier Opening Bell. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second Business and Markets Day of the week. A very quick run through the markets for the start of the week. On Monday, the Nigerian market went up by 0.3%, thanks to big jump in the shares of MTN Nigeria. Then we saw uptick in the shares of GTCO, about 2%. Then, of course, Nigeria's largest bank by market cap, that's Zenith Bank, also added about 1.7%. So those three big names within the banking space and the telco lifted the market up. Of course, MTN Nigeria has overtaken Airtel Africa as the largest telco, and that is also in the news, by the way. So we see Nigeria's NGX All-Share Index up by 0.35%. Year-to-date, we're now about 2%, trying to claw back some of the losses that we saw in the months of March, April, as well as where we started the month of May. Let's hope things continue to stay a little bit this way. We're almost at the first half of the year, and the Nigerian market has lost so much on the back of the Naira redesign policy, as well as the general elections, which was held in between February and March. The market's trying to claw its way back from those political and financial regulatory events. The BRVM lost just 1 point on Monday, just a scratch off the surface of the composite in Abuja. The Egyptian stock market started the week Monday 0.57% negative. The Nairobi stock market down by 0.78%. Still trying to find its way back to the 100 psychological base level for the reading on the All-Share Index, and the South African market down by 0.3%, 72,763, as we saw declines in big names within the resources as well as the industrial segments of the largest securities exchange on the continent. Thank you, everyone. That's the market roundup. Let's just move straight to the big stories, starting with East Africa. As always, Safaricom is looking to retain control of Ethiopia's unit, and the IFC is getting about less than 10% stake in that equity, and that's the story. IFC supported Safaricom of Kenya for securing that license in Ethiopia just about a year ago, and now it's been clarified who really is in charge. Safaricom is retaining control of Safaricom Ethiopia. And that's the news over the Monday period. Vodacom Tanzania is declaring about $9 million in gross dividend to shareholders, part of its 2022 financial year, reporting to the market in East Africa. And Kenya and Uganda are sourcing funds to revive their SGR project, while the DR Congo is selling $25.2 million treasuries on the local market this week. That's within the Central African Republic region, with a common market in Cameroon. So let's take it to West Africa, where the biggest news was the Africa's biggest refinery, which was commissioned yesterday by Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari, with about 4 African heads of state in West Africa in attendance, including diplomats and others from across around the world, as well as industry chieftains. The Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele provided further details about the $19 billion and the road to the making of the largest petrochemical facility on the African continent, sitting on the backwaters of Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital. The FMDQ yesterday announced that it has listed FCMB Group's $20.69 billion. The FCMB Group, which consists of First City Monument Bank, a non-listed commercial bank, will be using the commercial paper to support its lending within the financial market space in Nigeria, as well as support its regulatory capital requirements. The Bank of Ghana yesterday held interest rate unchanged at 9.5% as the country's inflation continues to decelerate over the past 3 months. And that's good news after Ghana secured $3 billion in bailout support from the IMF last week, and initial $600 million, which was available for immediate drawdown. So the central bank is holding rates unchanged. Let's see what happens at the next rate decision in July. Where, of course, Nigeria's central bank starts its 2-day meeting today, a monetary policy rate decision. We're expecting to hear from Godwin Emefiele, the central bank governor, tomorrow's afternoon at the end of the 2-day rate setting meeting. Nigeria is expected to raise interest rates, by the way, according to forecasts by Bloomberg. Togo says it's raised about 31.27 billion CFA franc from the West African Monetary Union market, while Gabon gets about 30 billion CFA franc as support from the Arab Bank for economic development for Africa, BAD. And that's some good news that Gabon could use. Take it all up and let's see what the Southern African markets, economies and big stories looking like with the rand. Firming up yesterday, a report posting around 19, or standing around 19.23% at the end of yesterday's trading, up about 0.97% against the US dollar. The bet is now that the FCMB, which is the central bank under Leseja Kengiango, will raise interest rates in the next few days when it's the 5-member MPC meets for the next meeting. Credit rating for South Africa remain unchanged from S&P Global Ratings that came through on Friday. And Famous Foods listed on the GSE says its headline earnings per share for its full year ended February 2023 was around 4.88 rand, and that was a jump of about 37% because South Africans came back from the lockdown of the pandemic, binging on food, going to stores and restaurants and all of that, and that was good news for Famous Brands, reporting 39% upside to his headlines earnings per share. Zimbabwe banks may offer loans backed by digital money, which is backed by gold again by the Reserve Bank. Though that's been discouraged by the IMF, asking Zimbabwe to focus more on a free, stable exchange rate rather than going the way of digital currency backed by precious metal, the bullion. The United States is reviewing $250 million of investments in Congo and the Congo-Angola rail link. The U.S. has a couple of issues around that particular project. We're waiting to hear what the final outcome will be. And the final stop, of course, on the show is North Africa. Let's check in with today being the first plenary session and the formal opening of the week-long annual meetings for 2023 of the African Development Bank Group. Dr. Akumi Adesina held the first curtain raiser press conference, the usual one, on Monday, speaking to climate change and why Africa needs all the support it can get. The head of the AfDB also asked developed worlds to keep to their promise made a few years ago to support Africa with $110 billion in climate change funding. Says the continent sorely needs that money right now on the continent. And that's the curtain raiser for the AfDB. We'll be following through all the big news coming out of Sharm el-Sheikh throughout this week until Friday. And Fitch Rating has cut about 3 banks in Egypt: the National Bank of Egypt, the FOG Bank, Cairo Bank, and International Commercial Bank. Those ratings were cut down from B+ to B. That's according to Fitch Ratings, one of the world's 3 largest rating organizations. And Egypt and France trade exchange grew about 60% in 2022, while Morocco is reporting annual inflation slowing to about 7.8 in the month of April. How will Morocco's central bank, the Bank Al Maghrib, decide is anyone's guess between now and the start of June. And Tunisia says investment pledges that's coming into the country in services were down 33.7% by the end of the month of April. That's the 4th month in the new year 2023. And that's your Frontier Opening Bell, and that's a wrap. Thank you so much, everyone, for standing by with the show. Watch the show again online on our YouTube. It's free. You can subscribe. Frontier Africa Reports. Go online to our website, www.frontierafricareports as well. We'd like to hear from you. Go and follow us too on all our social media handles. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.